Hello students, this is Kanupriya, PGT Geography, and here I am once again with my next video on chapter 5. This is the second video on this particular chapter, which is chapter 5, Minerals and Rocks. This is the chapter 5th of book 1, Fundamentals of Physical Geography. In the previous video, we had discussed about the introduction related to minerals and its physical characteristics, which included external crystal form, cleavage, fracture, luster, streak, color, transparency, structure, and specific gravity. These were the physical characteristics that we had discussed yesterday in the last video. So today we'll discuss the next topics of this particular chapter. So let's start. The next topic for today is some major minerals and their characteristics. The first major mineral is feldspar. In feldspar, the common elements are silicon and oxygen. Other than silicon and oxygen, feldspar contains sodium, potassium, calcium, aluminium, etc. It has been found that over half of the earth crust is composed of feldspar. It has light cream to Celebon pink color. Feldspar is used in ceramics and glass making. So these are the characteristics of feldspar and its uses. Second one is quartz. Quartz is one of the most important components of sand and granite. Quartz consists of silica. Quartz is a hard mineral virtually insoluble in water. It is white or colorless and it is used in radio and radar. It is one of the most important components of granite. Third one is pyroxene. Pyroxene consists of calcium, aluminium, magnesium, iron and silica. It forms about 10% of the earth crust. It is commonly found in meteorites. It is green or black in color. So these are the characteristics of feldspar, quartz and pyroxene. Fourth important mineral is amphibole. Amphibole is comprised of aluminium, calcium, silica, iron, magnesium. It constitutes about 7% of the earth crust. Amphibole is in green or black color and it is used in asbestos industry. Hornblende is another form of amphiboles. So mostly amphiboles are basically used in making buildings, railway tracks, etc. Now the fifth one is mica. Mica comprises of potassium, aluminium, magnesium, iron, silica, etc. Mica constitutes about 4% of the earth crust. It is commonly found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Mica is used in electrical instruments. The boards that we have in our houses consists of mica. The sixth one is olivine. Olivine is comprised of magnesium, iron and silica. Olivine is used in jewelry. It is usually a greenish crystal which is often found in basaltic rocks. So these are some major minerals which are found on the earth's surface and its characteristics and its uses also. The next topic is classification of minerals. Minerals have been classified into two types, that is metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Metallic minerals are those minerals which contain metal. And these are further subdivided into three types. We have precious metals, ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. In precious metals, we have gold, silver, platinum, etc. Ferrous metals are those metals which contain iron in them. Iron and other metals often mixed with iron to form various kinds of steel. Under ferrous metals, we have iron ore, manganese, etc. The third one is non-ferrous metals which do not contain iron in them. These includes metals like copper, lead, zinc, tin, aluminium, etc. Second one is non-metallic minerals. These are those minerals which do not contain metal. It includes sulfur, phosphates, nitrates, etc. Cement is a mixture of non-metallic minerals. Under non-metallic minerals, we include fuel minerals and other minerals. In fuel minerals, we have coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. And under other minerals or other non-metallic minerals includes zinc, lead, cobalt, etc. So these are non-metallic minerals. The second most important topic of this chapter is rocks. The earth crust is composed of rocks. Now what is a rock? A rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals. Rock may be hard or soft and it is present in various colors. For example, granite is hard, soapstone is soft. Gabbro is black and quartzite can be milky white. Rocks do not have definite composition of mineral constituents. Moreover, feldspar and quartz are the most common minerals which are found in rocks. The science which deals with the study of rocks is known as petrology, and the person who studies about rocks is called as petrologist. He studies about the texture, he studies about the structure, he studies about the color, etc. regarding rocks. So this is the introduction related to rocks. Now comes the classification of rocks. There are many different kinds of rocks which are grouped under three families on the basis of their mode of formation. That is, on the basis of the mode of formation, rocks have been classified into three types. First one is igneous rocks, second one sedimentary rocks, and third one is metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks are basically formed because of the solidification of hot and molten lava or magma. Sedimentary rocks are basically the result of deposition of fragments of rocks by exogenous processes. And metamorphic rocks are formed out of existing rocks which undergo recrystallization and reorganization. So this is the classification of rocks. So let's discuss them one by one. First one is igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are also known as primary rocks because all other types of rocks are formed from the igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are formed because of the cooling and solidification of magma and lava that comes out from the interior of the earth during volcanic eruptions. The word igneous has been derived from a Latin word ignis, which means fire, and these are formed when magma cools and solidifies. When magma in its upper movement or upward movement cools and turns into solid form, it is called as igneous rocks. The process of cooling and solidification can happen in the earth crust or on the surface of the earth. So basically, the lava or the magma that comes out during volcanic eruption, this magma and lava can cool down inside the earth crust or in the earth crust or on the surface of the earth. Igneous rocks are classified based on texture. Texture basically depends upon size and arrangement of grains or other physical conditions of the materials. If molten material or magma is cooled slowly at greater depths, mineral grains may be very large. And if sudden cooling occurs at the surface, results in small and smooth grains. Intermediate conditions of cooling would result in intermediate sizes of grains making up igneous rocks. We have number of igneous rocks which includes granite, gabbro, pegmatite, basalt, volcanic breccia, tuff. These are some of the examples of igneous rocks. So these are igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are called as primary rocks as the other rocks depends upon igneous rocks for their formation. The word igneous has been derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. Igneous rocks are formed because of the cooling and solidification of hot and molten lava or magma that comes out from the interior of the earth during volcanic eruptions. And because of the cooling and solidification of hot and molten lava, igneous rocks are formed. Igneous rocks have been classified on the basis of the texture, and texture depends upon the grains of the minerals which are present inside the rocks. If the molten material is cooled at greater depth, then the mineral grains may be very large. And if it cools down, sudden cooling happens at the surface will result in small and smooth grains. We have different examples of igneous rocks which includes granite, gabbro, pegmatite, basalt, tuff, etc. I hope igneous rocks are clear to you. If you have any doubt, please come up with your doubts. Thank you so much.